One day, while Kyle was in the yard, a man in a van was watching him closely. At first, Kyle ignored it, but over time, he began seeing that same man everywhere he went. Something wasn't right. It became clear. Someone was definitely watching Kyle. A few days later, Nicole took him to see a doctor, but the moment the doctor reviewed his reports, he was stunned. Kyle's body appeared brand new, as if he had never experienced a single injury in his life. Even his teeth looked freshly developed. No cavities, no damage at all. And the most shocking part? His brain activity was several times higher than that of an average human. The doctor had no explanation for any of it. That night, they gave Kyle a sleeping pill, hoping he'd finally get some rest. But that's when a hidden truth surfaced. Even after taking the pill, Kyle didn't sleep a wink. Instead of staying in his room, he spent the entire night lying in the yard, silently gazing at the stars above. Steven suspected that maybe Kyle simply had too much energy and needed a proper outlet, so he decided to take him out for a run. Steven had been a runner himself once, and he was confident he could wear Kyle out, but the plan backfired. Kyle ran like an Olympic athlete effortlessly, while Steven was the one left gasping for breath by the end. Steven was completely exhausted, while Kyle showed no signs of fatigue. Frustrated and angry, Steven stormed back home and started arguing with Nicole. He told her point blank, Kyle isn't human. He should be sent back to wherever he came from. But Kyle overheard every word. His heart shattered. Without saying a word, he slipped out of the house and ran away. Steven searched everywhere, but Kyle was nowhere to be found. Even the police were contacted, but they said they couldn't take action until 24 hours had passed. Later that night, Nicole noticed some drawings near her bedside. They were sketched by Kyle, and one of them showed a specific place Nicole recognized instantly. Without wasting a second, she and Steven grabbed flashlights and headed into the woods. Eventually, they found Kyle at that exact spot from his drawing, standing silently under the stars, as if longing for home. After bringing him back, Steven realized his mistake and apologized to Kyle. To make amends, he offered him a warm bath. That's when Kyle heard the radio. When Kyle first heard the radio, the white light that came between its signals. And that night, for the first time in so many days, Cly felt so relaxed that she fell asleep. The next day, the story takes a sharp turn. Nicole receives a call from the police. They inform her that a human skeleton has been found near the spot where Kyle was discovered. Nicole is shocked. The police suspect Kyle might be a killer and warn her to be cautious. Agent Taylor tells Nicole that the bones show signs of exposure to a highly flammable substance, suggesting the death was recent. Skin samples were also found and are being analyzed. Taylor insists on questioning Kyle immediately, but Nicole stalls him, at least until Kyle regains consciousness. The next morning, Kyle wakes up and tries to watch TV, but the antenna isn't working. Without hesitation, he climbs to the roof and fixes it. But instead of coming down normally, he jumps straight from the rooftop. Amanda witnesses everything. She panics, thinking Kyle must be injured. Distracted, she loses control of her car, which crashes into a large dumpster. Before she can react, Kyle appears, completely unharmed. Amanda is stunned. She saw him fall from a great height, yet there's not a single scratch on him. Carol, who already dislikes Kyle, gets furious. The damaged car is all she cares about. In anger, she threatens to take Amanda's license. But Kyle steps in and takes full responsibility, trying to protect Amanda. This only angers Carol more. She screams at him to stay away from her daughter. That night, Steven returns home and speaks to Nicole in private. He reveals another shocking detail. The same day Kyle was found, a man also went missing. Nicole and Steven now feel more unsettled than ever. What they don't know is that someone else has been listening to their entire conversation. The same man who's been secretly following Kyle all day is now eavesdropping on them using a remote microphone. The next morning, while Nicole is cleaning the boy's room, she finds some of Kyle's drawings. At first, they look like random patterns, but when she puts them together, a symbol starts to emerge. The same symbol that was found at the crime scene. That's when she realizes Kyle was there, and maybe he's connected to it somehow. Meanwhile, Amanda has taken up a job as a lifeguard. Kyle, who has clearly started liking her, tries to get her attention by jumping into the swimming pool, hoping she'll come rescue him. But things don't go as planned. People start laughing, and what was meant to be a sweet moment turns into pure embarrassment. Later that evening, Amanda visits Nicole's house to check if Kyle's okay. Nicole invites her in, but when Amanda heads to Kyle's room, he's not there. Instead, she finds all the drawings Kyle made of her. It creeps her out a little, and she starts to feel like maybe he's getting too obsessed. But the next day at the pool, Amanda sees him again. This time, Kyle asks for her help. He wants to learn how to swim. After a few basic tips, something incredible happens. Kyle dives into the water and starts swimming like a pro, like an actual Aquaman. Everyone is stunned. Even Amanda can't believe what she's seeing. That's when she invites Kyle to hang out at her place sometime when her parents aren't home. And when he visits, Amanda shows him some of her late father's drawings. What's shocking is they look exactly like Kyle's sketches. That's the real reason she invited him. Later, Kyle decides to create something special for her. He combines his own art style with Amanda's father's and draws a beautiful portrait. Now, he just needs the courage to give it to her. That evening, at a party where he's supposed to meet Amanda, Kyle's plan completely falls apart when Amanda shows up at the party with her boyfriend, Charlie. It hits him hard. Everything he had hoped for, all his feelings, crushed in an instant. Later that night, Kyle returns home feeling shattered. One question keeps circling in his mind. Who is he really? Why are the only memories he has filled with nothing but forests and stars? The next day, Nicole tells him she's invited a friend, someone who might help recover his memories through hypnosis. Kyle agrees, and the session begins. Under hypnosis, Kyle's mind drifts back to that night in the woods. He sees the same man who's been following him, fighting with someone else. Then suddenly, the man pulls a gun and shoots the other guy before running off. In that moment, Kyle remembers his name, Tom Foss. Hearing that name, Nicole is stunned. She recalls hearing it at the police station. Tom Foss, the new officer who had just transferred to their town. Now things were starting to make even less sense. Nicole asks Kyle to sketch what he saw. Kyle picks up a pencil and draws a near-perfect portrait. The face is unmistakably clear. A few days later, the same face appears in the newspaper. The man's name was Feldman, a university professor and an expert in human memory. That confirmed it. The body found in the woods belonged to Professor Feldman. But what was Feldman's connection to Kyle? To find answers, Kyle decides to visit the university. What he finds there leaves him stunned. On a wall, he sees an old photo of Professor Feldman with his students, and standing among them is Kyle himself. Shocked, he asks Feldman's assistant, Holly, if she remembers him, but she doesn't. She says she worked with the professor for years and never once saw Kyle. Even when he shows her the photo, she seems confused, but agrees to run some memory tests on him, and that's when another shocking truth begins to unfold. Kyle aces every single memory test with a perfect score. Holly is stunned. She's never seen anything like it before. In her excitement, she explains that Professor Feldman's research was focused on pushing the limits of the human brain. While most people use just 10% of their brain's capacity, Feldman believed that if someone could fully activate their entire brain, the possibilities would be limitless. And now it was clear. Kyle wasn't just part of that research, he was living proof of its success. Maybe that's exactly why Feldman was killed. Holly takes them to meet Feldman's widow, who gives them permission to look through his old documents. That's when Kyle and Lori stumble upon something shocking. Sketches featuring the same mysterious symbol that was found at the crime scene. But that's not all. A series of numbers written over and over again catch their eye. It looks like coordinates. Curious, they hop online to find out where these coordinates lead. Just then, Stephen calls. He sounds worried and asks where they are. Lori tells her father about the coordinates and begs him to look them up. Minutes later, Stephen calls back, and what he says sends chills down their spine. The coordinates lead to a government facility, military-controlled, heavily guarded, and definitely not an ordinary place. To uncover the truth, Kyle gets help from one of Feldman's students, Deck. Together, they make it all the way to the outer perimeter of the facility. But from there, Kyle decides to go alone. He jumps over the security fence, only to be ambushed by a masked man. But thanks to the karate practice he's been doing at night, Kyle defends himself and manages to knock the man down. As he pulls off the attacker's mask, his heart skips a beat. It's the same man he saw that night in the forest. the same man from his visions. Suddenly, it all clicks. This man was there when the shots were fired, and he's not just anyone, he's Tom Foss. But Tom isn't what he appears to be. He tells Kyle, "If you want to stay alive, you'll have to trust me." It's clear now, Tom Foss isn't just some random guy. And whatever Kyle's past holds, it's more dangerous than he ever imagined. Tom Foss gives Kyle one final warning. If he digs any deeper into the truth, his new family's lives will be in danger. Every step he takes toward his past could become a death sentence for the people he loves. Before leaving, Tom makes it clear, if you don't stop searching, they'll wipe out everyone you care about. Shaken, Kyle decides to listen. He runs from the facility, choosing to abandon his search for the truth. But it's already too late. The government facility's surveillance cameras have caught a clear image of him. An agent refers to him as part of Project X, and just like that, Kyle is on their radar. Back home, Nicole quickly realizes something's wrong and rushes Kyle to the hospital to get his wounds treated. But as soon as they arrive, an unfamiliar couple shows up claiming to be Kyle's biological parents. They come with photos, documents, and what looks like solid proof. A DNA test even confirms it. Kyle is their son, but deep down, something feels off. Kyle refuses to leave with them. He doesn't want to walk away from Nicole and the family that made him feel human. That same night, desperate for answers, Kyle goes back to Tom Foss. He wants the truth. Who are these people? Why now? Most importantly, are these the same people Tom warned him about? Tom doesn't sugarcoat it. Yes, they're the ones. And yes, they can fake DNA evidence without breaking a sweat. But if Kyle really wants to uncover the truth, Tom tells him there's a safe place where he can explain everything. But before they can get there, bang! A gunshot echoes through the night. Kyle, with lightning-fast reflexes, dodges the bullet, but it hits Tom square in the shoulder. They're under attack. A sniper keeps firing at them as they scramble to escape. Narrowly dodging bullet after bullet, the two finally find shelter. There, Tom finally tells Kyle everything. But to keep the suspense alive, we don't hear a word of it yet. The next morning, Kyle returns home. He meets his so-called biological parents again and says something completely unexpected. "I remember everything now." Kyle looks his supposed parents in the eye and says, "I know you're telling the truth." Everyone is stunned. Then he adds something even more shocking. He's ready to go home with them. With a heavy heart, Kyle says goodbye to Nicole and the family that gave him love, and leaves with the couple claiming to be his biological parents. But soon, the truth is revealed. They're not his parents at all. They're actors, hired by Tom Foss. It was all part of a bigger plan. Kyle is now being taken to a secret operations center where the full truth about his identity is finally about to be revealed. There, he meets a mysterious man named Adam, and what Adam tells him changes everything. "Kyle, you're a clone." Kyle is in shock. Adam explains that Professor Feldman had developed an advanced technology, a way to unlock the full potential of the human mind and body. But he made a fatal mistake. He sold that technology to the government. And now, it's turned into a war. But there's more. Adam reveals a mind-blowing truth. Kyle is his clone. Adam is a billionaire who spent his life searching for immortality and pushing the boundaries of human evolution. But now, he's in a deadly battle with the same government that wants to control the technology for its own use. And the biggest twist of all, Kyle isn't the only experiment. The original Project X has now evolved into Project XX. The government is preparing to launch a new generation of even more advanced clones, engineered for power, control, and warfare. The final stage of testing is nearly complete, and once it's done, a new war for technological domination will begin. Caught between two worlds, Kyle is given a new mission. He's now the leader of a team, operating under Adam's orders. No longer just a lost boy with questions, but a soldier with purpose.